Have you ever been browsing the Lost Media Wiki or just watching YouTube minding your own business and then you see something that makes you just really go into full-blown curiosity mode? Well, for me and many others, that is especially the case when it comes to the internet. The internet, as big as it is inevitably going to have to host some stories or videos that eventually just disappear and no one knows what happened to them. With that being said, for the last few weeks I've been reading about a ton of lost games, videos, and even commercials from throughout the years that really piqued my interest. Some of these cases are disturbing, and I'll make sure to point these ones out as we go on, but without further ado, here are some of the most interesting cases of internet lost media. Billy Mays. How could you forget about this guy? For those of you who don't know Billy Mays, he was an American television salesman who was in a plethora of commercials all throughout the 90s and early 2000s, some of which you may recognize like his OxyClean adverts. Unfortunately, he ended up passing away on June 28, 2009, but he lives on through his very memorable appearances on TV. As memorable as these advertisements were, it's inevitable that some of them would be lost to time. According to the Lost Media Wiki, back in 1983, Mays would pitch several items to marketing companies, specifically the Washmatic and the Jet Cloth, which he tried to sell so much he even earned the nickname Bucket Billy. By the way, I love that nickname. If I could have that, I would take it. In reference to the Washmatic being a sort of hose system that pumps water directly from a bucket without being hooked up to a faucet. He recorded a pitch for the two products in 1983 in a private videotape that he owned, and a few clips from this tape have been shown on a Pitchman episode titled Revenge of the Pitchman. He also was featured in a test 30-minute infomercial for arguably his most recognizable role, OxyClean. Recorded in early 1998, it earned double the amount that was used to produce it, and it was lost until fairly recently, when the full 30-minute test video was uploaded onto archive.org by Mason Hero. This case particularly interested me because I always thought this guy was so hard to forget that I was amazed when I found out there were advertisements that I had never even heard of before. I'm sure Family Guy needs no introduction, as it was one of the most popular animated sitcoms of the 2000s and still is to this day. Created by Seth MacFarlane, who was also the co-producer for American Dad and The Cleveland Show later on in his career, he started production on this pilot for Family Guy back in 1998 with the help of Jim Keeshan. Apparently there was like a whole attempted lawsuit with Jim Keeshan trying to take credit for the whole pilot, but that's a story for another day. Luckily, the first 7 minutes of the Lost pilot can be found on a DVD set that was released on September 9th, 2003 and ended up online shortly thereafter. Unfortunately though, the rest of that pilot on that DVD was replaced with a bumper that says coming soon, and they haven't followed up on that since it was released. The only other proof of this thing's existence are very low quality screenshots, some short clips that can be found in an old interview with Seth, and an early commercial for the show. On the Lost Media Wiki, there were supposedly clips of the full 15-minute pilot that were able to be downloaded from a fan's tripod site, but those are no longer available. Personally, I would love for this thing to be found because I'm a huge Family Guy fan myself, and this is a very important piece of its history that I think should be preserved. Just a quick warning before I keep going with this. This next entry involves themes of child abuse, so if that happens to be too much for some of you, go to the timestamp on the screen to skip this part, and for those of you who can handle this, just be warned. In 2009, an iOS app called Baby Shaker was released on the App Store on April 20th, 2009 for the price of $1, in which your only objective is to shake a baby until two large X's appear over its eyes. The day after this app appeared on the store, the owner of the non-profit organization Stop Shakin' Baby Syndrome, Jennifer Dickens, would find out about the app through an article written by Krabs, and tweet about it on the same day. Due to the complaints, obviously Apple took down the game and it has been lost ever since. I don't know about all you, but I don't really think this game needs to be found, and it's probably better off lost. There is footage of the game that I'm not going to show here, but it's free to view on YouTube for anyone who's curious about how it may have looked. But this is just one of those cases where you hear about it and wonder, why in the hell would anyone even make this? And that's all I have to say about that one. Let's just move on. Slamfest 99. I cannot express how badly I want to see this thing. Super Smash Bros. Is a fighting game that features a bunch of Nintendo characters duking it out, which was first released on January 21st, 1999. Slamfest 99 was a promotional event for the original Smash Bros. Game Smash 64 that took place on April 24th, 1999 at the Grand Adventures theme park in Las Vegas. The fight is thought to be 17 minutes long and started halfway into the live stream. The fight included actors dressed up as Pikachu, Mario, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong. Literally Donkey Kong. I mean, they just fight for 17 minutes. How could you not want to see that? The live stream of the fight is currently lost completely except for a few low quality photos from the event. There have been attempts made to contact people who attended or directed the event, but most of them were fruitless. I really want to see this stream because it's such a goofy idea to have people dress up and just wrestle for 20 minutes long. That just sounds awesome to experience, and I have faith that one day we'll finally be able to see this thing happen. These were just a few of my recent interests with Lost Media, but in the future I do plan to go more in-depth with some of these topics, and I also plan to cover some more disturbing ones, if that makes sense. But for now I thought that these were some of my favorites, and I wanted to get these ones out there, because I know some of these aren't talked about as much, like the Billy Mays infomercials, which I really like a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, and if I earned your subscription, then go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching again, and see you later.